we need to talk about the Don because now he's saying that he's adjusting. What is happening with him? What is happening? He's saying that he's adjusting his mass deportations policy. Oh my God. Oh my God. To only go into cities if the mayors or governors ask and say please, adding, I don't want to go and force ourselves into a city, even if their numbers are terrible. What is going on? What happened? I would like to know what is Kristi Noem's take on this.
So I want to be clear because it sounds like there is a shift in immigration enforcement here, that there's going to be a shift after Minneapolis. What should Americans expect going forward?
Well, one thing I say to my people, we do a good job. We don't get credit for it. I say they have to ask and they have to say please. When a city is
who
going
has to ask and who has
the
to say
mayor
please?
Or the governor, I don't want to go and force ourselves into a city, even if their numbers are terrible. Like, for instance, I got a call from Jeff Landry, governor of Louisiana. He said, we have a big problem. Could you go in and help us with well, let's see, certain sections. I mean, to be honest with you, certain sections of the state, beyond their famous, beautiful city, certain sections of the state. We have done, not only in New Orleans, we've done a really great job in Louisiana, but I was called. I want to be called. Chicago, we could solve the Chicago crime.
Well, on that question, which cities are you headed to next?
Okay, I'm gonna give you my first impression of this. I'm gonna give you my first impression, and every single, let's say that every single resource is limited. Not only people, not only vehicles, not only officers. Everything is limited. And Trump must have said, okay, you know what? Let's do something. For those mayors and those governors who say that, hey, we need your help right now, okay, they are going to prioritize not only, of course, the criminals, but they're going to prioritize the cities and the states that they are asking for help. That would make sense as well. It's like not only prioritizing by crime. Let's go for the criminals as well. Everybody wants every illegal deported. I can understand that. But again, everybody is okay with prioritizing efforts. And since every resource from the Department of Homeland Security is limited, because that is the reality, then it would be logical to say, okay, we not only go for the criminals, but we are going to prioritize those cities and states that their mayors and governors ask us to go to. So that is a bit of a punishing, which I also agree on. Those cities and states that we don't want Trump here. We don't want any ICE scum here. Okay, so be it. So they can. Maybe it has been so problematic in Minneapolis. Has been so problematic in Minnesota that Trump said, you know what, maybe we can allocate our resources in the places that people actually want us to do our job. And that way you win in several ways. First one, you put your officers, or your officers are not going to be in danger, or are going to be in less danger than if you go to places in which these criminal Brodians are running unchecked, and at the same time you have the protests, people that are against this. So you have double hostility. So there's it's also thinking about the officers and thinking about the population of those cities and states. Okay, you voted for a woke or a crazy woke blue Democrat. Fair enough. So you get your sanctuary cities, you get your Brodians, you get to keep all of that. We're going to focus on those who are going to go for us. I think it's fair. And some of you are saying that you are no governor, no mayor is going to ask for help. I disagree. I'm sure that some are going to say, you know what, maybe we could use some help. And but notice how so many things fall into place. Officers are safer. Deportations keep going. It would be impossible for any mayor or governor to complain because they will be the ones asking DHS to go and deport people. I think that is a nice approach. That is my opinion right now. I think that is my opinion right now. It's like this, like racial tension says, he's letting sanctuary cities implode. They will eat themselves alive. Yeah, I was trying to be a bit polite, but yeah, that is more or less the idea that I think that Trump is going for. But let me see what else he has to say.
We have 5 cities that we're looking at very strongly, but we want to be invited. We will sometimes call the governors. And
are these cities like Chicago, Philadelphia? Are these the cities?
We could straighten out the crime in Chicago. We've already brought it down 25% just by being there. We could have Chicago be a safe city, just like D.C. is a safe city, just like all of these places that we've gone to. And I look forward. You know, I didn't campaign on that.
Yeah.
I campaigned on law and order, but I didn't think I'd be going into individual cities and making them safe.
Yeah, what's happening. And this is important, as Irene Evans says, you can't help people who don't want to be helped. Yeah, you're going to get into trouble, in fact. And I think that he wants officers, and Kristi Noem must want officers to be safe and make this as smooth as possible and reallocate resources. And maybe those stubborn city mayors will say, oh, you know what, maybe I could use some help at some point.
Anything else you can tell us about the 5 cities? The 5 cities, anything else? So Americans are ready?
We'll be announcing them very quickly, but we could do something. As an example, I was called by people. San Francisco said, please, we have a Democrat mayor. He's trying very hard. Would you, friends of mine that live there, it's got crime problems. Would you let him do the job and not come in? Let's see how it works. I said, look, I can do it much quicker, much faster. Don't forget, we remove criminals. We took over 2,000 hardcore criminals out of Washington, D.C. If we didn't do that, 2% of the people create 90% of the crime. Think of that, 2%. So you have a criminal, because it's over and over again, 2% create 90% of the crime. We took out 2,000 people, more than 2,000 people out of Washington, D.C., and we now have a safe city.
So there's also this question, this other clip. Is your mission now to deport everyone who came in illegally? And what does Trump say about this?
I have a question about immigration still looking forward now. Your goal during the election was to deport everyone who came here illegally under President Biden. Is your mission now to deport everyone who came in illegally, or just people who have come in illegally who have also committed additional crimes?
We are totally focused on criminals, really bad criminals. Now, you could say people that came in illegally are criminals, but I'm talking about murderers from different countries. We have 11,888 murderers that Biden and his group led into our country. We've captured a lot of them. We've brought some of them back. A lot of them we don't want to bring back because we don't trust the country that they're not sent back again. Despite how strong the borders are, they'll figure a way to try and get in, and we don't want to, and we'll incarcerate them. But 11,888 murders. We are after those people. We're after the drug dealers. We're after by the way, a big problem. They allowed to come into our country people from their mental institutions, people from insane asylums that are mentally ill and very dangerous. We're getting them out.
I think that focus on those is appropriate. Well, a couple of updates on the Nancy Guthrie case. The FBI announces a $50K reward in the Nancy Guthrie case, and that there are no suspects or person of interest right now at the moment. That is what the press conference that's happening right now, they have said. So we continue with this. Trump on ice. Maybe we can use a little bit of a softer touch. I don't know if this is the same.
Mr. President, speaking of Minneapolis, what did you learn?
This is important because, you know how how problematic has Minneapolis been.
I learned that maybe we can use a little bit of a softer touch, but you still have to be tough. These are criminals. We're dealing with really hard criminals. But look, I've called the people. I've called the governor. I've called the mayor, spoke to them, had great conversations with them. And then I see them ranting and raving out there, literally as though a call wasn't made. We've done a great job everywhere. The only place there's been a little inflammation has been really, it's not Minnesota because we've done well with it.
Los Angeles, too. There's been others. Yeah.
Well, I saved Los Angeles. The top law enforcement officer, right at the beginning of my time when they were having riots, before me and it carried into me. If I didn't go in there with the National Guard, with troops, you wouldn't have the Olympics, which I got. I got the Olympics. You wouldn't have the Olympics in Los Angeles. And he said, without the president sending in the troops, we would have lost Los Angeles. Yeah. And you know what? I saved Los Angeles. And we will do it again if we have to. And by the way, we're going to have a very safe Olympics and we're going to have a very safe World Cup.
I hope that the Olympics and the World Cup just turn out nice. But, well, I don't have high hopes. Hell has frozen over. NBC just complimented President Trump for the first time ever. You have success on immigration, illegal crossings at historic lows. It's so nice you said that. That's called good reporting, fair reporting.
And you've had success on immigration. Illegal border crossings are at historic lows, right?
You know, it's so nice that you said that.
But if you look at
Tom, what you just said.
It's true.
No, but it's so nice. I hope you air it. It's so nice what you said, because that's called good reporting. That's called fair reporting.
So again, I think that what Trump was, people are so screaming out of the rooftops. That happens. I have learned with Trump, I have learned to wait at least, I don't know, a couple days until we figure out what is the master plan. And this moment I say, okay, we need to think in terms of resources. Who really wants us to come and help? As you have mentioned, if somebody doesn't want your help, this is even a personal scale. If somebody doesn't want your help, trying to help them is going to earn you an enemy. It's going to be, you're going to be, it's not going to end good. Not going to end good. And if somebody actually wants your help, then you can work together for, in this case, a safer cities. And maybe that way, the people in the other cities could apply pressure to the mayors and governors. Hey, see what Trump has done? That is another thing, that Trump can use these cities in which, crime goes down because they get rid of this sort of crimes. They could use as an example, and other cities might get, oh, I want that for me as well. Maybe I'm doing my theory here of how is Trump thinking, but I would love to know, what do you think about this in the comments? My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Much love and blessings.